China thinks we're ridiculous on all of this. And frankly, I sort of tend to agree with them.
Yes.
I mean, let's go on, but this was a significant development. So you may recall that Blinken was actually scheduled to head to Beijing when the whole Chinese spy balloon situation happened. So they canceled that trip. So now Blinken and China's top diplomat, so his counterpart, they say spar, this is the Politico headline, over spy balloon incident in Munich meeting. Wang Yi slams the U.S. excessive use of force, while Blinken warns such surveillance must never again occur. Significant that the two sides are meeting. I am glad to see that, because keeping lines of communication open are really critical when you have a tense relationship, as the U.S.-Chinese relationship is at this point. I was disappointed that Blinken's trip to Beijing was canceled last time around because of this whole stupid spy balloon situation. So I'm glad to see that there were talks again. The reports that are coming out are that those talks were, I guess, relatively fraught. As I mentioned, Wang slammed the Biden administration's destruction of the balloon, urged the U.S. to, quote, change course, acknowledge and repair the damage that its excessive use of force caused to China-U.S. relations. The statement described the controversy as the, quote, so-called airship incident, in an apparent effort to belittle the U.S. reaction that has clued a widening bipartisan uproar, and a Senate resolution that declared it a brazen violation of U.S. sovereignty. At the conference, Wang publicly slammed the U.S. response to the balloon. So this was not just in the side meeting, this was in the public response. They insist it was a weather monitoring device, okay. And they said that our response was weak and near hysterical. I kind of agree with that. And he also accused the U.S. of warmongering. Certainly the shootdowns after the fact, if they indeed were like hobbyist balloons, I think classifying those as near hysterical is probably pretty accurate.
Yes, it's absolutely accurate. And again, the Blinken timing was really important, I think, to the original balloon storyline, in that they knew that this meeting was about to happen. And a lot of analysts say that that's very typical sort of Chinese diplomatic engagement, right?
Well, they do say now that, remember when this first happened, first China was like, we're sorry. And then they denied that it was them. And then they claimed that it was a weather monitoring device that had flown off course.
Right.
Well, now there is more reporting that indicates, okay, it wasn't a weather monitoring device. That part is definitely bullshit. But that it did seem to go off course from what the Chinese had originally intended for it to fly, like basically over Guam and maybe Hawaii. So much different than the provocation of floating it in plain view over Montana and flying it all the way across the entire country. I mean, it is a different deal. And part of this is all I've the whole time thought sort of a silly shell game, because we know they're spying on us. They know we're spying on them. Like the part that was so outrageous here, and now it's come out that there were balloons during the Trump administration, et cetera, but that it was so incredibly obvious and brazen that it was undeniable is what forced the Biden administration's hand and made it an utter political embarrassment.
Well, and to your point about Blinken, again, like if this is what's happening, Blinken should really want to talk to his Chinese counterparts and lay down the law, right? Like that's a great opportunity, but this is how it's the theater of diplomacy. It's the theater of the new Cold War, and it's none. The balloon is an unserious distraction from much deeper, bigger problems. It in some ways illustrates the problems with our relationship with China right now. But it's also distracting us, I think, from much bigger problems.
So Blinken went on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd to talk about this meeting. They also expressed concern that China could sort of ramp up their military support for Russia. But let's take a listen to a little bit of what he had to say.
Chuck, I don't want to characterize what he said. I don't think that would be appropriate, although I can tell you, no, there was no apology. But what I can also tell you is this was an opportunity to speak very clearly and very directly about the fact that China sent a surveillance balloon over our territory, violating our sovereignty, violating international law. And I told him quite simply that that was unacceptable and can never happen again.
So there you go. That's his, the official line coming out of the meeting, at least, is, he expressed his adamant concern and desire that this never happen again. So we'll see what happens from here.
We'll see what happens from here.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Sagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.